Alright, let's continue on with elimination. We're going to go ahead and look at these as when you don't have an equal amount of x's and y's and you can't just straight add or subtract the two equations together. So, consider this elimination part 2. Alright, here's the standard we're working with, 8 REI6. And this will be the last segment of this standard that we do. So this will be your third grade for this quiz, which will make up your grade. Alright, so here we have 6y plus 5y equals 19. And we also have 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. Okay, now typically when we want to do elimination, we want an equal amount of x's or of y's so that we can have them cancel each other out. In this case, we do not have the same amount. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to try to convert one of them to be equal to another. Okay, so in this case, 6x and I have 2x. Well, I can make 2x into 6x, right? Like I can transform this one, okay? I can convert this to equal 6, okay? 3, I can't necessarily convert it to be 5. I couldn't necessarily, and the other option here is so we could maybe try dividing by 3 to get to here, but 5 is not going to divide by 3, 19 is going to divide by 3. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rewrite my first equation like this, okay? Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to convert this one, I'm going to multiply everything here by -3. Okay, now why -3? Well, if you see when I multiply this one by -3, I'm going to get a -6x, which is going to make it much easier for these to cancel out. Okay, so let's do 2x times -3 is -6x. 3y times -3 is -9y. 5 times -3 is -15. Okay, and really what we're doing is reducing the distributive property. Every piece is getting multiplied by -3, and so we have it here. And then we can just go ahead and add 6x plus -6x is 0, 5y and -9y is going to be -4y. 19 and -15 is 4, and I get y is equal to -1. I can plug -1 back in, right? So we'll do 6x plus 5 times -1. Does that equal 19? Well, solving for x. So then 6x minus 5 is equal to 19. We'll add 5 to both sides. 6x is 24. X is equal to 4. So my point here is 4, comma, -1. Okay. Let's go ahead and plug it back in. So we do 6 times 4 is 24, plus -5 is 19. That works. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times -1 is -3. 8 and -3 makes 5. It checks out. Okay. Next. All right. Here you go. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can set it up. Don't actually do the elimination, but get it to the point that you're about to eliminate. All right. Go ahead. Go. Alright, we got a couple different options. We could just go ahead and add them, but if you remember from the last video, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna write them both in standard form, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 3x and move it here, and I'm gonna get -3x plus 2y is equal to -9. Now, this isn't technically standard form since the lead coefficient here is negative. But my x's and y's are on the same side. Everything would line up, right? So 4x, -3x, 5, and 2, 35, 9. Okay? Now, there's a couple different things I can do at this point. I want either the x's to cancel out or the y's to cancel out. So here I have 4, and here I have -3. I cannot make -3 into 4. 2, I can't make into 5. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to multiply the top equation by one thing and the bottom equation by another thing so that we get the same amount. Okay, and this sort of goes back to that idea of least common multiple. And so what I'm going to look at is say, okay, well, what number does 4 go into, right? What multiple of 4 is also a multiple of 3? Well, in that case I can do 12. So if I multiply this top one times 3 and this bottom one times 4, I should get an equal amount of x's that are opposite of each other. So let's try it. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 5 times 3 is 15, y, and 35 times 3 is, let's see, 35, 70, 105. Okay, and now we'll multiply this one. -3 times 4 is -12x. 2 times 4 is 8y. And -9 times 4 is -36. Okay. Let's add these together, and I'm going to get these will be 0, and I get 23y is equal to, what is that? 69, I think. Let's see, 9 plus 6 is 15. 10, yep, that works. Okay, then divide by 23, and that's going to give me 3, so y is equal to 3. Okay, and then we'll plug that back in. I'm going to use that first equation. 4x plus 5 times 3 is equal to 35. 4x plus 15 is equal to 35. So 4x is 20, which means x is equal to 5. So I get 5 comma 3. Let's check it in my other equation. If I do 3 times 5, I get 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. They equal each other, and it works. Okay. Now, let's say you decided that you wanted, actually in that case, to have the y's cancel out. Okay, so let's go back to, let's get rid of this part. Yep, that just got rid of everything. All right, so let's say, let's rewrite this. Negative 3x plus 2y is equal to negative 9. So let's say you decided to cancel out the y's. So again, what I would do is I would want to convert both of these, and I'm going to want to find the least common multiple, or what number does 5 go into, right? What multiple of 5 is also a multiple of 2. So I'll multiply this one by 2, and then multiply this one by negative 5. All right, let's see what happens. We got 4 times 2 is 8, so we got 8x plus 10y is equal to 70. Okay, and then on this side we've got negative 3 and negative 5 is 15x plus negative 10y is equal to negative 9, negative 5, 45. Okay, and I'm going to get 23x is equal to 105. Okay. Let's see. Oh, whoops, not 105, 115. 115. X is equal to 5. Okay. Then, here this is a little bit easier because I can do 2y is equal to 3 times 5 minus 9. So I get 2y is equal to 15 minus 9 is 6. So y is equal to 3. 5 comma 3. And I think that's what we had before. Okay. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 and 20 make 35. It works. Okay. So it doesn't really matter which way you go. You're going to end up with the same answer. And that's how you do it. Okay. Let's move on to a word problem here. Okay, so we have a sports equipment store is having a sale on soccer balls. A soccer coach purchases 10 soccer balls and 2 soccer ball bags for $155. Another soccer coach purchases 12 soccer balls and 3 soccer bags for $189. Find the cost of a soccer ball and the cost of a soccer ball bag. Okay. So why don't you go ahead, why don't you pause the video and you try writing the equations for both of these. Okay, I'll write the equations here. Go. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's see. We have 10 soccer balls and we have 2 soccer bags. Let me let x equal the number of soccer balls, and we'll let y equal soccer bags. Okay. And we know that one coach, his total cost, okay, the total cost is $155, right? And that's going to be equal to 10x plus 2y. And then my other coach is going to have $189 is equal to 12x plus 3y. Okay. And now what we need to do is we need to solve. Okay. Well, looking at this, I don't see... well, I guess technically... Well, why don't you go ahead. You go pause the video. You try solving this one with your newfound skills. Go. Okay. Let's take a look here. One way we could do this is you actually could divide this one by 3. Okay. And in doing so, you get 1y here. Because 189 is divisible by 3. If you add up all the digits, right, 1 plus 8 plus 9, you get 18. 18 is divisible by 3. So you could do that. But let's just go ahead and convert these. I would choose the y's are smaller, and it would take less multiplying in order to get the answer, the numbers to the same. You could do x if you wanted to cancel them out. You could either turn them both into 120, or you actually could turn them both into 60. 12 times 5 is 60. 10 times 6 is 60. But let's do the y's. I think that's probably the natural one to do. I'm going to go ahead and, it doesn't really matter here, we'll multiply this one by 3 and we'll multiply this one by -2. So let's see, 155 times 3. 155 times 3 is going to be 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15, 16. 3 times 1 is 3, plus that is 465. Okay, so we have 465 is equal to 30x plus 6y. And then 189 times 2. So let's do 189 times 2. So 2 times 9 is 18, and 2 times 8 is 16, 17. 2 times 1, 378. So negative 378 is equal to negative 24x minus 6y. Alright, we'll go from there. Let's see, 78, I need 22. 22 to get to 400. 22 and 65 makes, I think that's going to be 87, is equal to, and what do we got? 6x. This doesn't seem right. Let's see. 65, 67, 87. Okay, that seems okay so far. Alright, and then we'll divide this, and what do we get? 87 divided by 6. Okay, yeah, something's wrong here. Hold on a second. Okay, so this ends up being x equals $14.50. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and plug it back in. So let's go back into our original equation. And I've got, well, since this is a nice one for 10, we'll go ahead. 155 is equal to 10 times 14.5 plus 2y. Okay, and this is nice because then it cancels out. So I have 155 is equal to 145 plus 2y. So 2y is equal to 10, and y is equal to 5. All right. Looks like it's going to work. Okay, so let's see. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so then let's see if I subtract 15 from that. I've got 174. So let's do that. Let's real quick pull the calculator here. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. These tools, calculator. So let's make sure 189 minus 10. Okay, whoops, nope. 189 minus 15 is equal to 174, and then we'll divide that by 12, and I get $14.50. All right, so we know that the cost of soccer balls is, right, we know the soccer balls are $14.50 each, and we know that the soccer bags are $5 each. Okay, there it is. See you tomorrow.